We all make mistakes, missteps, moments we wish we could take back. And sometimes we don't even realize it until it's already happened. Hi, I'm Joanne Smith, and welcome. The unit secretary and I kept feeling like we knew each other, but couldn't figure out how. We lived in different towns and shopped in those towns. One day we took a break at the same time, and we were determined to discover why we both had that feeling we knew each other previously. Turns out years earlier we had worked at the same large hospital in New Jersey on the same unit. I worked nights after my daughter was born. She worked days as a unit secretary. We'd been in the same place at the same time, just on different shifts. Ships passing in the night. And yet we both ended up in that same small hospital in Vermont because we each had chosen a different kind of life. Another moment like that has stayed with me for years. It was 7 a.m. at the start of the shift. The call lights were on, lit up like a Christmas tree. The priority was simple: answer the lights, take care of the patients, then get report from the night shift nurse. One person stayed at the nurse's station to answer phones and reassure patients over the intercom. The rest of us split up into 4 hallways to respond to the lights. The director of nursing walked by and commented that it was good we were getting to the call lights. Then he continued down the hall to the administrator's room. A few minutes later, staff were returning to the nurse's station. He came back up the hall, and he was angry. The only light not answered was from the administrator's room. It had been assumed it was a mistake. Everyone knew the director of nurses was there. There was no emergency light on. But I was in charge that day, and he began reprimanding me at the nurse's station. That call light has been on, and I was there watching the IV run dry. The night nurse stepped forward. She already had the new IV ready. But I couldn't quite process what I was hearing. You watched the IV run dry? Yes, I watched it run dry, and the call light was on. I asked again, you really mean to tell me you watched an IV run dry? Yes, I watched it run dry. And in that moment, with more than a dozen people standing there, he heard it. Not from me, from himself. He realized what he had just said. He had the knowledge. He had the skill. He could have changed that IV. But instead, he watched it. Never mind. And he left the unit. Later, he came back and said, once I thought about it, I couldn't believe I watched an IV run dry and was giving you a hard time about it. Sometimes the moment isn't about being right. It's about recognizing something we didn't see in ourselves until it's said out loud. Even the people in charge, even the experienced ones, even the good ones, have moments where they miss it. The question isn't that it happens. It's what we do when we finally see it. I'm Joanne, your encourager. Next Tuesday, we'll look at those moments when we step in before we really know what's ours to carry.